So it's hard to.
So you got to live close to it.
There, and you live close there, it's either $1 million homes or really where you don't want to live. So there's no in between, which is unfortunate.
All right, so God bless you to be a millionaire plus.
Oh, yeah, and also they don't agree with that. For sure, it'll happen.
Rambam. We are in the laws of Yom Tov, of the holidays, and we're just coming from the holidays. We're chapter 4, right? So just a brief reminder that the holidays are the same thing as Shabbos, except in two things. You could cook from a pre-existing flame on Yom Tov, and you could carry on Yom Tov. On Shabbos you can't without an Eruv, right?
So the first 2 days you can carry?
You can carry and cook as long as it's not Shabbos, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. You can cook from a pre-existing flame. And we learned yesterday the things you could cook. In other words, Yom Tov is a concept of simcha, of joy. And to bring joy is that you could, you could have pleasurable food and movement. Those are the two things, food and movement, right? So they're very, you could carry and you could cook. This is all biblical, by the way. This is biblical, based on the verse. Right, exactly. Right? So here we are, okay, in number 1. We may not ignite a flame from wood, from stone, or from metal by rubbing these surfaces against each other or striking them against each other until a spark is created. Not allowed to do that. Right, that's creating fire. Similarly, one may not shake combustional gas, which resembles water, and can be ignited by shaking it. Similarly, one may not take a clear but firm utensil or a glass filled with water and position it in the rays of the sun so that it will radiate light on the flax or the like and ignite it. Huh?
It's amazing how he covers all the angles.
Yeah. All of these and any similar activities are forbidden on a holiday. Our sages permitted kindling a flame only from an existing flame. To ignite a fire is forbidden because it is possible to ignite the fire before the holiday. The reason you're not allowed to is because that's something you could do beforehand. So you need to do it beforehand. That's the law. Okay? Although kindling a flame on a holiday is permitted, even when there is no necessity, it is forbidden to extinguish a flame. Right? Right. In other words, the kindling of the flame, why is it permitted? Because it's adding to your holiday. Because now you can cook. Now you can cook, right? So you can add to the flame. But to extinguish the flame is not adding to your cooking.
It's like when you have a cigarette, you can't put it out. You have to let it
Right.
go out by itself.
Well, that's, as a result, you're right. But it's based on the principle, that extinguishing is not helping in bringing you a joy to the holiday, right? But to continue a flame is to make the flame greater so you could cook that's the principle, right? For extinguishing flame is forbidden. Labor is not necessary for the preparation. Oh, he says it. I spoke out of line. It's not necessary for the preparation of food. Just as one may not extinguish a fire, one may not extinguish a candle. Right, so it's not just about that which is for food, but a candle too. A person who extinguishes on a holiday should be punished by lashes, just as one who weaves or builds, right? Because that's not something you're allowed to do. Why can't you build? Because it's not about the food that you're going to have the joy from eating on the holiday. Okay, it is forbidden to lift the opening of a lamp upward so that it will be extinguished. Nor may one remove oil from it, nor may one cut off the top of the wick with a utensil. One may, however, flick the top of the wick with one's hand to remove the charred portion. As long as you don't put out the flame, that, have to be pretty big wick that you could do that. When a bundle of wood has been lit in a fire, it is permitted to remove any piece of wood that did not catch fire. This does not resemble removing oil from the lamp. It is forbidden to extinguish a fire to save one's money on a holiday, just as extinguishing on Shabbos is forbidden. Instead, one should abandon the burning possessions,
Wow.
right?
So
Uh,
then
so-
how about the house, if the house is on fire, what can you do?
So if a non-Jew is putting it out, that's okay. He could put it out, but you can't put it out,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
The Rambam allows some leniency. According to the Rambam, if a person has no other home and sees his house being consumed by flames, he may put out the fire so that he may have a place to eat his festive meals.
You reading this,
Doesn't
you reading the footnote there? So you can have a place to have the.
No, the Ramah, not the
Oh,
Rambam.
yeah, yes,
The Ramah allows.
Yeah.
The Ramah is the Ashkenazic halachic authority after in the Shulchan Aruch. So he allows it because of this, right? So which is interesting,
You need a place to celebrate.
right? One main. It's interesting. I think, if I'm not mistaken, because it's a rabbinic law, not a biblical law. Let me just say, is that what it said? Did it say that?
What, footnote 8?
Something like the raging fires. They show you the possibility of a threat to life.
No,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
it's about-
the halacha now is that you do put out the fire because that fire could extend itself and it could be a threat to life. In other words, be very exacting over here. Because of your possessions, you can't put out the fire, right? Ramah says in leniency, you could because then it's taking away from the joy of the holiday, right? Which is different. There isn't a joy on Shabbos. There's pleasure on Shabbos, which is rabbinic. Simchas Yom Tov is biblical. It's a very different law. And putting up is rabbinic law. We just learned this. When we learned Shabbos, we learned it, right? The last chapter, chapter 30, in the Hill of Shabbos. It's a rabbinic law, honor of Shabbos, right? But Simchas Yom Tov is because it's based on a verse in the Torah. It says, however, anything about eating you can do on Shabbos, you can do for the Yom Tov, for the joy, right? So the joy of Yom Tov, that's a. Actually, you know what? Maybe I have to double check that. Is the joy biblical, or is the anyway, a nuance over here, maybe. Okay, we may not extinguish a candle so that one will be permitted to engage in sexual relations. Instead, one should cover it with the utensil, erect a partition, or carry it to another room. If none of these alternatives is feasible, it is forbidden to extinguish a candle, and it's forbidden to engage in sexual relations with the candle burned out. One may carry a candle while it is burning. When did we do that, by the way? When did we carry a candle now?
When you go around for weddings.
No.
You carry it.
Yom Tov. I'm Yom Tov.
Okay, but you also. I think-
But what's that got to do with the, yeah, of course. I can carry a candle now too, also, right?
Came to my mind.
When? When did we do it? On Yom Tov. We went to the door for Eliyahu. We carried a candle. You're allowed to carry a candle, right? If on Shabbos you wouldn't be able to, but Shabbos Yom Tov you're not allowed to, right? But on Yom Tov you're allowed to carry a candle. We did that now on Yom Tov, right? Our sages did not impose a decree against this, lest it become extinguished. By the way, on Shabbos, biblically, could you carry a candle? Biblically, yes. Biblically, you could. What can't you do biblically on Shabbos? Put out the candle. But carry it is not putting it out. The rabbis made a decree. You can't do it because maybe it'll go out. So you're not allowed to do that on Shabbos. But on Yom Tov, the rabbis didn't make a decree. They didn't make that decree because biblically putting out the candle is not a biblical prohibition. It's rabbinic prohibition. So therefore, the rabbi said, we're not, okay, so if you're going to go and there's going to be a wind and it's going to go out, we're not, because it's not a biblical thing you're going to transgress. Shabbos it is. Got the nuance? It's forbidden to place a candle on a palm tree or the like on a holiday, lest one come to make use of the object that's still growing in the ground on the holiday. So that you're not allowed to. Okay, folks.